All right, let's make Escape Room 2, where they have to escape this room behind me. Blumhouse, call me. Escape Room tells the story of a group of people who join up to do a game where they win $10,000 if they escape a series of puzzle rooms, and they quickly find out it's not a game and you die if you lose. Well, it's a new year. It's January. Must be time to review a shitty horror movie, right? We'll see. Escape Room takes the slot of January release. January, by history, is the month where they just throw dog shit. They throw everything that they do not have any confidence in, that they don't think is going to make a whole lot of money, into January because it's out of the Hollywood season. We're not even close to the summer movie season yet. January release. Oh man, this is always a gigantic question mark. So Escape Room, this is something that's kind of like continuing that trend of what's cool and trendy in pop culture, let's make a movie out of that shit. You had stuff like, you know, Slender Man that was about 14 years too late. You have other movies like that that just tap into what people are talking about and they try to form a plot and characters around it. Escape Room, is it any good? Well, I will say this. It's better than I thought it was going to be. So starting right off with the positives for Escape Room, the first one is really just the concept itself of Escape Room, because this is a movie where honestly, there's not a whole lot of plot here. This is more so about just seeing this concept come to life. Death traps in escape room form. This is essentially like the PG-13 Saw movie if it had all the torture porn removed out of it. This is a gigantic trap, and you have a group of people that have to try to figure out the puzzle pieces to get out of this room to get into a harder room. It's a very cool concept, and it does unfold very cool in this movie. It's very entertaining, it's tense at times, it's exciting. You do have a lot of curiosity about what the next room is going to hold. The concept itself, I think they executed really well. And I will say, for being a PG-13 horror movie or horror release, even though there's not a ton of horror here, it's more of a thriller. For being a PG-13 movie, for a guy that usually bitches about movies getting watered down to PG-13, I think that they actually utilize the PG-13 rating pretty well. You know, this isn't really like Saw where they're trying to go for the gore. This is just about traps and about the puzzle pieces and about can they actually solve this stuff in time. And the deaths that you do have, they don't necessarily necessitate blood and gore. People die, the stakes are there, you understand it, you don't need the gore. So this is a PG-13 horror release that I will let all of you know who have the same mindset that I usually do. It doesn't feel like a watered down horror movie that should have been rated R. So that's another positive I'll give. As far as characters go, I did like Deborah Ann Woll's character. This is the girl that brought us Karen Page on the Daredevil TV series that was canceled way too fucking early. God damn it. But I did like her character. Her character was interesting. She was a strong character. She was portrayed well. She is a good actress. And for the most part, from the beginning of the movie, she was the character that I kind of attached myself to and was like, okay, I hope she makes it through it. She's the one I'm rooting for. And as a final positive, I will say that this is one of those movies, much like when I saw the original The Purge with Ethan Hawke, not the first Purge, but the first Purge. When I saw that movie, I had the same feeling I had when I saw this movie when I left. A lot of things were cool about that. That was entertaining, but it feels like a concept that they can learn their lessons from and do even better with a sequel down the line, provided this does make some money. So that may be somewhat of a positive and somewhat of a knock on this movie. I'm getting ready to get into my negatives right now. I'll tell you what opportunities they have to fix, but this does feel like a concept that could be cool as a small franchise, where they could make it a little bit bigger, a little bit better, and fine-tune some of the things that they slipped on in this movie. So again, that kind of goes with my first positive. I like the concept, but this feels like it could be a decent franchise starter as long as they learn the right lessons from it. Now, moving into my negatives. Every other character in this movie, aside from Karen Page, can go fuck themselves. This movie is filled with not only bad characters, not only poor acted characters, but unlikable characters. There's a scene in the movie where one of the characters says, I feel like I'm in the most fun game surrounded by the most terrible people. And you as an audience member feel the exact same way. These people suck. Again, acting performances, not exactly something you prefer or something you expect in a January horror release, but there are some really bad sections in here that don't get helped very much by really bad dialogue, I will admit, so it's kind of a combination of all that, but just the characters themselves, I mean, Karen Page, or whatever the hell her character's name is, I'm going to call her Karen Page, she's a cool character. Her background is cool, she's a strong female, she's an military chick, she is cool. And then you get the stereotypical nerd who's there that thinks it's a cool little video game, and he's played by this kid who I've seen in other things before, who has done good in things before, and here he's just annoying. He's the guy where shit's blowing up, there's this huge fireball, they almost died, they were this close to becoming barbecue, and he's like, oh my god, it's so immersive. Fucking annoying. I was ready for that guy to leave the second he showed up on the fucking movie, and everybody's annoyed at him too, so it's kind of like, what's the point of this character besides annoying people? You have another character who's kind of like this fuck up. He's just kind of brooding the entire movie. He goes off and smokes by himself. He's unlikable. He's a total dick. Even when they're trying to get out of this trap and trying to save themselves, he's a total asshole about, doing anything he can to make it difficult for everybody else. You go to the other chick who ends up becoming kind of your main focus throughout the movie, which the movie really stumbles with making her the main focus, and she barely utters like 8 words the first half of the movie. She's real quiet, and she's real kind of reserved, and she doesn't really want to hurt anybody's feelings or say anything, even when she's in a life-threatening fucking situation. I didn't really care for her either. You get, I believe, Tucker from Tucker and Dale. Maybe it was Dale, one of those two guys. The dude who fucking died at the end of, Planet of the Apes, the one that had the virus and shot blood everywhere. That guy is in this movie. He's alright. Just not a great character. He's a trucker dude, doesn't say anything funny. You could tell he's supposed to be the comedic relief. Doesn't do very good as the comedic relief. He's there. Then you get this rich, pompous fucking asshole who you cannot stand from the moment that he comes into this movie, and he is the most self-righteous prick you have ever seen in a horror movie. Again, didn't like him either. It's like, you're supposed to be in a situation where you have these group of people that you're supposed to root for, and you're supposed to be shocked when some of them die, and all but one, I want to die immediately. I would have been happy if Karen Page was the only one that made it out of the first fucking room, and the rest of the movie was about her. That's how bad these characters are. Again, bad dialogue doesn't help, bad writing doesn't help, bad acting doesn't help, but just the caricatures themselves, bad characters. Blech. And then we'll get into the ending. And the ending is the thing that I think most people are going to walk away bitching about with this movie, and they have every right to. Now, I will say I don't hate the ending. I think part of the concept of what they were going for with the ending is interesting. But this ending forgoes all attempts at actually answering questions that you have throughout this movie. Who is doing this? Who is in charge? Is there a motive? Are they just murderers? Are they trying to experiment? Is it a big corporation? Is it one guy? What's going on? All these questions that you have throughout the entire movie that you feel like the movie is building up to answering, it chooses not to answer anything and just gives you kind of a cheap grab for a sequel, saying, please let us make Escape Room 2 and maybe we'll answer all those fucking questions. I don't like that. Even though I think this movie has potential to build a decent franchise, I don't think that baiting everybody with an ending that just says, come back next time and we'll tell you all the answers is a good way to go about it. I think a lot of people are going to walk away pissed off, and that's going to ruin the entire chance you have of making a sequel. So, the ending, I don't hate it, but I definitely walked away somewhat going, could have ended a lot better. The last 20 minutes could have been a lot better. I will say that even though I really like the concept and the way that they execute the concept in this, it feels like this movie blows its load after the third room. There's 5 rooms in this movie, which one character knows right off the bat, which is ridiculous. But anyway, get out of that. After the third room, it feels like the movie kind of just runs out of ideas to a degree. Or there might be 6 rooms, I don't fucking know. But after the third room, first room, second room, third room, good shit. 4th room, 5th room, maybe 6th room, not all that exciting. Some of it has to do with the characters that are left by that point. Some of it just has to do with the fact that that shit was so cool that you kind of ran out of ideas by then. It feels like they should have maybe flipped the rooms and gotten better as the movie went on, but as a pacing issue, as far as the coolness of these rooms, feels like the first half is a lot better than the second half. But that's pretty much all my thoughts on Escape Room, guys. Not a huge, long, in-depth review for me, but I mean, it's not a movie that really merits a ton of conversation. Cool concept, decent execution, horrible characters, way too much of a please give us a sequel cash grab type of ending. So, decent movie. I will say, decent movie. I was entertained throughout pretty much the whole thing. It's definitely better than way more January releases that I've seen in the past years. And it's a movie that I do feel like has the potential to get better if we do actually get an escape plan too. So if you got nothing else going on this weekend, if you want to check out Escape Room, it is worth some entertainment. Just don't spend a whole lot of money on it.
They're watching us. They know every move that we're making.
They knew everything about us.
So if the concept intrigues you, if you got nothing else going on, and you want to just get away and see what January might have to surprise you with, you could do a hell of a lot worse than Escape Room. Don't expect too much, but go in expecting a mildly entertaining time. Check it out at a matinee. So what did you guys think of Escape Plan? Did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? Do you want to see a sequel? Do you think that they can do better with a sequel, or do you feel like it's going to learn all the wrong lessons and they're going to say, hey, we made money, let's do another one and do even less effort? What do you think about Escape Room? Tell me down in the comment section below, guys. And what is your most anticipated movie for the rest of this year? We got Glass coming up. I can't wait for that one. Please like and share this video. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Check down in the video description below for some social media links like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Spreadshirt for Cody Leach t-shirts and other merchandise designed by the great Woody Bowen, and my Patreon page, which is a great way to give back to this channel, help this channel grow, and get cool exclusive content for your eyes only. So check all that out, guys. And if you want to check out some more of my videos, you can check out a few more by clicking right over here.